Hello everybody and welcome back to Surviving Mars. Last episode we started our colony. We got a bit lucky with our colony setup. I'm going to keep it down to speed slow for right now. We got lucky with our colony start, or like the area we started with scanning. We have a crap ton of rare metals, a good metal deposit of standard metals, and not too far away, a fairly decent water deposit. So we have everything we need for a healthy colony. We just need to get everything set up. And in the last episode we did. We got an oxygen extractor set up, so Moxie's up and filling O2 tanks. We have a decent, like it's small, but it's all right for now, of a solar farm. And our concrete extractor is working well. So the next thing is to set up another drone hub that is
sector scan
close enough. Close enough to oh wow, sector scan. We got another sector. So we just finished this one, and we got more rare metals, plus another concrete deposit, which is fairly good. That's pretty good. That is actually fairly good. We're getting pretty lucky this time around. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a manual build. So what that means is, to really build one of these things, if you don't want to do it manually, it has to be close enough to not be outside of it's too far away from a drone commander, so drones don't auto-build it. But you can manually tell them to go build something. So, because I want to save one of these drone hubs for a bit later, we're going to build it well outside of the range of the other drone hub. But we're going to do that, and we're going to manually build it. So we'll put it right down there. This drone's doing nothing, so I'm going to tell it to go ahead and pick up some metals. And this will take some time. It will take some time. It's going to go carry that to the drone hub. You are going to do the same. They should have enough range to get there and back, even with their batteries currently a bit... Oh, you never picked up anything. Go pick up that metal. You go put it in there. And I think you're going to go pick up metal? Yes, you are. Okay. There we go. Huh, that was weird. Does the autonomous drone tech also make it so you don't need all the materials to build it? Oh, well. They see you can also build drones from the drone hubs, but you need the tech to do so, which is fairly late in the tech tree.
Cable fault reported.
Oh, we have our first malfunction. Now what this means is that there's a, what do you call it? There's a maintenance that has to be done on a lot of our equipment. And it can, it can malfunction and it needs to be repaired by drones. So let's get, I know, water production. Let's get water going. Nothing fancy is required because we're so... what's the word? Early. We don't need, like, multiple extractors per deposit. We just need to build up a good supply of water. So we've got a decent... spot there, and we'll just have the pipes be a little bit, what's the word? We'll just have it follow the actual cabling to decrease the amount of space we're taking up with these basic infrastructure bits. And so we got that. Let's get the water towers up. We'll put those right here. Okay, so that's 2 towers right there. That needs concrete machine parts, which are not too uncommon. can see the drones are automatically going to pick it up from our deposit back here. And let's have this guy deposit the metal onto that deposit. Or depot, whatever you want to call it. As much as he can. Should be able to get most of it in there. Yeah. Didn't get all of it. He's got 8 left. He'll go put that in this one down here. So we're starting to build things up. These are connected to the grid, but now we need to connect up the actual water producer. Okay, you've charged up enough, so we'll deposit onto that depot. And see, that's not too bad. We have a fairly early start with quite a bit of materials. The next thing we're going to want to do, though, is, again, we're going to want power, because power is a huge deal. And in case we do have a cable fault or cable breakage, we want to have power that's not necessarily localized. We want to be able to power at least a portion of the production bits from its own kind of separate power sources, creating just like a little offshoot for solar panels. Solar panels are pretty cheap. They require only metals for maintenance, which is good, while a wind power, like a wind mill, requires the use of actual, machine parts, which are things that have to be imported from Earth or constructed. Kind of sucks. Okay, so they don't have concrete or machine parts, so we're going to pick up 1 load of concrete, 1 load of machine parts. So we'll pick those up, put it onto the back here, and then drop it off at this depot. All of it. Once we get some water stored up, we can actually start thinking about just going ahead and putting down a dome, which is fairly early for a dome, but we got really lucky. Might also want to think about putting down a sensor. If I remember right, that's an infrastructure, sensor towers. Maintenance is only a metal, so we're going to put down a sensor right there. Now, later on, fairly early in the tech tree, there is a tech for autonomous sensors or advanced sensors, which don't require maintenance anymore, and no power, which is good. But the reason we want to put it down now is because, 1, it gives us a more warning for disasters, and 2, it increases the bonus we get for scanning. So we're fairly close to our base right now. We've only scanned 1 territory. It makes sense to put down a sensor tower right now so we get that early bonus. Okay, and those are starting to be deposited into our water extractor, which is good. And the sensor tower is up, so we get a 192% bonus to our scanning speed on scans like that close.
Sector scanned.
Okay, nothing there except for a concrete deposit, nothing big. We can only have 4 of these queued up, so we'll put 1 there, and we'll put 1 there, just so we can get all of these out of the way, and then we'll do the top bit. Yes, I know resupply is a thing. We don't really need it, though, right now. Our current, we've got 21 polymers spare, we've got a decent amount of electronics and machine parts, and everything else is fairly decent as well. Okay, we need 1 more thing of concrete. Pick up concrete, 5 of that. There we go. That requires machine parts for maintenance, that's why we bought the 3 spare, just in case. And let's see here. A basic dome. We don't have enough concrete, and we barely have enough metal, but we do have enough polymers. I think the first objective we'll have is to get a metal and polymer up and running. Because the main draw of tech parts at the beginning of the game is these drone hubs. Are these drone hubs, is what I mean. but we don't require that. So we need polymers and a machine part factory is what we need. So we can cut out the electronics for now, because we're not building anything particularly advanced. So that's good. And how's our tech going? Okay, research is going fairly well. Something else we might want is a Martian explorer, because that will be able to research these anomalies. And we have 2 right around us, and there's probably going to be a couple around here. So let's, what do we want to do with this? We could start the dome right now. Do we want to start the dome right now, then call in a resupply?
Sector scanned.
There's, okay, nothing down there. Just some surface metals. 307% bonus. Yeah, that's gonna not take too long. I'm just thinking right now. What do we want to do with this? Oh, by the way, we also need to put down some storage. We'll put down some dumping sites here to allow for the water to continue flowing, because it produces waste rock as well. There we go. And that's producing 3 water per hour. That's good, and that's going to start filling up these storage tanks. Might want to increase the storage tanks, I'm not sure, so I have a couple more. But let's go ahead and put down the dome. Yeah, that's fairly good. That gives us a decent... yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that, and we'll run the life support pipes from there to there. And the electrical system will run from here to there. That's good. We're also going to, I don't know why, but put a universal depot kind of midway. Actually, we'll put that there, just a little bit closer. We'll see if they transfer metals or materials between the depots. I've seen it happen before, but it's not reliable, or it's not too reliable. And I guess while we're at it...
Sector scanned.
Okay, so nothing too much there. Hopefully we get something in this one. It's fairly close to one of our drone hubs. So, and this one as well. Let's get these ones at the top done. And let's get a resupply going. So resupply, we have a choice between passenger and cargo rockets. Passenger rockets don't cost anything because passengers don't require money. They just come for free, and you don't have to spend any money really on the rockets. Cargo rockets do cost you something because you need to fill them with stuff. We're going to rename this to BFR2, though. BFR2. And we're going to pick up an Explorer. Now, you may be thinking, what's an RC rover? An RC rover is essentially a mobile drone hub. It can, I think, take about 4 drones. They charge from the rover itself, and the rover presents like a command area. So if you need to do like a new setup far away from your network, you can use an RC rover to get it done. We're going to do that. We're going to pick up... let's see here. We're going to pick up a machine parts factory and a polymer factory. That's fairly expensive. Then we're also going to pick up a fuel refinery. The reason why is because we need to start producing fuel to start getting our rockets back to Earth. Because we only have 5. We only have 5 rockets. After this, we only have 4 rockets. So with that, we've got some weights to spare. I say we pick up some machine parts, some polymers, and we start stockpiling food. Because we will need it for, well, we'll need it when the colonists get here. And we'll spend the rest of our weight on the orbital probe to get like a free scan. It's not free, but we'll get another scan. So yeah, that's good. Let's launch. And you can see it's on its way. It has 10 polymer, 10 machine parts, and 15 food, which is fairly good, plus an RC Explorer, a fuel refinery, machine parts factory, and a polymer factory. That's all we need for a growing colony. Now, the fuel factory is autonomous, doesn't require anybody to be worked in, but the other two do. So that's, you know, kind of the problem. Or I guess not really a problem, but that's kind of the thing we have to keep an eye on. Now, let's have the transport go ahead and get these metal deposits off the surface, deposit them up here. And then what else do we need to do? Well, our O2 stores are almost full. Water stores, not so much.
Research complete.
Okay, Mars-Earth Initiative is done. We now get 300 science per soul, and we get the next in line of the TAC. So, productivity training. So, engineers and geologists have 10% performance, plus 10% performance, when working in their specialty. So, some colonists will have specialties. Not all of them will. Some will be geologists, some will be botanists, scientists, that kind of stuff. Don't really need that right now. I guess we'll wait, because this might present something interesting. Because one of the things I'm kind of holding off on is there is a tech that is fairly early in the tech tree, possibly. It's a little bit randomized, or it's a lot randomized, but the tech tree is a bit randomized. One of the techs is a apartment. So essentially you start out with these, what are they at? You start with living quarters. There are 3 of them per building, and they house 14 residents. The next step up is what's called an apartment complex, and it's a single building, but it houses 24 in the same space that the living quarters take up. And it's not necessarily that much more expensive to make it. So I like having apartments first, because it lets you have more workers to work the factories you need at the start. We'll see if that happens. You either get lucky or you don't. Which is one of the reasons I'm getting the Explorer. The RC Explorer will take a look at these anomalies, and the anomalies can give you things like extra research, can lead to a breakthrough, or they can give you a new tech. So that's why we're scanning, even though we don't necessarily intend to expand any further for a while. We want to see if there's any anomalies nearby. So we'll see about that. Yeah. Let me take a drink here. A lot of talking. Murders the throat. How is our little transport doing? Doing alright. It's getting that metal off the surface. Our little outpost up here is doing okay as well.
Anomaly
okay,
found.
We got another anomaly on the ground. That's good. So 3 anomalies within fairly close distance. See, the one with the key will discover new technologies. The one with the spyglass will lead to a breakthrough. Or may lead to a breakthrough. There are also accidents that can happen. I like those. I like the ones that'll lead to new techs, because new technologies will kind of either give us something early. It won't research it for us, but it'll show us the techs so we can research them. And we might get lucky. We may get lucky, guys. Okay, the dome's almost done. Once the dome's up, we'll be able to start filling it out and getting ready for habitation. We'll also be able to, once the next ship gets here, BFR2, we'll be able to lay down the metal. Well, actually, we can do that now. Production, metals extractor. So this is a very high-grade metal as well. So that's fairly good. Put that there. But it does require power, I believe. And
milestone
done.
achieved.
We have a drone on Sol 7, so it's been a week since we're down here. We already have a livable drone. It's got enough water and oxygen, and it's getting enough power. By the way, there's a little like changed skin thing. I only have 2 of the skins, but this is the current skin. It's green, all that kind of stuff. This is the other skin, and it also has like a clear dome. As you can see, if I go to the other one, it's got like the more tech dome. I don't know. I like this dome with all the with the shadows crossing by. Because if you go with the other skin, it doesn't have any shadows, and I don't know if I like it. I'm gonna stick with this one. Okay, our BFR is in orbit and is in for landing. I like landing my ships somewhat close together. So we're going to land it right there. So we have a line of ships kind of waiting to go back.
Sector scanned.
Okay, another sector. No anomalies in this one, though. We'll get all those queued up, and we have one more orbital probe. Now, I don't think we can deep scan, can we? No, we can't deep scan yet. That requires tech to do that. Deep scans essentially reveal things on a second scan, so there's chances for like other deposits to be deeper underground, and other like anomalies to be on the ground. But we're going to scan here.
Sector scanned.
And we have another anomaly. There we go. That was lucky. So that's good. And here we go. We now have our Explorer, so we're going to get it right onto the task of getting all these anomalies ready to researched or scanned or whatever you want to call it. We also have our polymers factory, which, since it doesn't require anything but fuel, and I'm planning on putting the fuel refinery down here, we're just going to put it right there. Actually, we'll put it like... yeah, that actually looks kind of cool. We'll put it right there. Aesthetics play a big part into my like planning, which probably isn't a good thing, but you know, yeah, whatever. And we'll put the refinery right there, so they're right next to each other. We're producing enough water. We might put a second extractor down, because you can double up on deposits, which is fairly good, actually, to do. It depletes them quicker, but it's easy to... like, what am I trying to say? It depletes the deposits quicker, but it's a good way of, like, keeping a colony going, because water demands do get high.
Breakthrough discovered. Milestone achieved.
Nice. So, passenger rockets can carry 20 more colonists. Oh my god, I've never gotten that one before, actually. That changes a lot, because it takes a lot of rockets to fill out some domes and colonists. So that's fairly good. We'll have to think about that one. That is expensive to research, though. Let's get the next one. See, this anomaly, this one gives us a new tech that we've got. So, we'll see how that goes. Metal extractor is up, and we're going to put down the machine parts factory. Now this thing builds machine parts from metal. Okay. So 2 things not working are just the ones that don't have people in it. That's fairly easy to... that's fine. And the fuel refinery is working, so we're actually starting to refuel our ships. Or at least we should be starting to refuel the ships. I'm going to put down a storage fuel depot next to this fuel refinery. Actually, no, not there. We'll put it on the other side. Right there. And so it'll just store the fuel on this pad when it's not being used. I'm hoping we get, like, apartments off of one of these anomalies. That's what I'm hoping for. Really need that.
Anomaly analyzed.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder. So long as you know where to look.
Even the tiniest, simply-looking rock can contain the answers to mysteries which perplexed the human mind for generations. Sometimes it takes just a simple discovery to assure us of the vastness of the universe, an encouragement to make us look beyond the boundaries of our existence and into the future. So what this gives us is low-G hydrosynthesis, which I think gives us early access to the moisture evaporator. And Martian crowdfunding, which gives us a one-time bonus of, like, I think $1 billion one-time bonus from there. And no, actually no, this just damn it. We didn't have to buy those factories at all. The polymer factory and the fuel refinery, we could have just researched this tech. So that is the thing. Huh. Well, that's somewhat disappointing, but oh well, we'll put that on. Alright. Next one, have you take that. Got 3 of these to do, or two more of those to do. How is our rover down here doing? It is not full, but it's close. We're going to drop off the metals at our depot for maintenance purposes. And as you can see, we're starting to refuel our ship. We have 2 fuel out of 60, so I mean, it'll take a while. But that's fairly good. What else are we going to need for the guys inside of the station, or inside the dome? We're going to want an infirmary for them, so they don't get sick. We'll put it right here. We'll research farms soon, so we'll be able to put a farm, which is a large, like, it takes one of these entirely up, but that's not bad. That's actually fairly good, because it gives you a lot more food than a hydroponic farm. They're all based on the crop that you make, but a hydroponic farm's, I think, max yield is maybe 12, while the minimum yield for a farm is 12, and the maximum is, I think, is close to 30.
Anomaly analyzed.
Okay, new text.
There's more to the barren environs of the red planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure
It's the same
trove of
quote every
undiscovered
time.
knowledge and wonder.
So
long as you know where to look.
Okay. So with this one, we actually get access to adapted probes, fuel compression. Oh, that's a good one. That decreases the fuel requirements of our ships. Low G drive increases the speed of our drones. Low G fungi gives us a different type of farm, a fungal farm, which per day produces 3 food for, I think, only 4 workers, which is fairly good. So let's check that. So yeah, we get the low G fungal farm. It's pretty easy. So yeah, that... Oh no, that doesn't decrease our fuel requirements, it increases our cargo space. That's actually fairly good. Again, 25% faster drones and rovers. This is... this one's very good, because it cuts it in half. So the probes now cost 50 million, and they can deep scan. So you can scan a tile twice. Now, I mean, what I mean by that is it takes 2 probes to scan, but they can do a deep scan. Whereas before they couldn't. And this one's the same tech, essentially, as this one. It just applies to scientist and botanist. So we're getting some decent ones here. Let's go to the next one. And also have our rover here. We're going to put down a metals storage just to help our explorer here, or not explorer, transport, be able to get all of this surface metal out, or off the surface. Okay, so the infirmary is up, looks like. That's good. But looking at the time, by the way, that was a meteor strike. Those happen periodically. Or asteroid? Meteor? Meteorite? Is it meteorite? I don't know. But either way, that we are at the end of this episode, so thank you for joining me. If you like this episode, please leave a comment down below, so consider that like button. If you want to help support the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, as well as taking a look at the description down below, where I have links to my Discord and my Patreon page. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!